JLC manufacturer was an experience that was so surreal, it was overwhelming. I visited Patek, I visited Lange, but this was an experience no watch fan can afford to miss. So our trip actually started the day before. We went down to London to have dinner with the UK team, and the next morning we flew from Heathrow. We flew into Geneva and then took the 40-minute drive to Valais-des-Joux, the home of JLC.
So we've just arrived in Switzerland. JLC have flown us out here. They've put us in this beautiful hotel with stunning scenery. It's easily the nicest place I've ever been to. Watch brands are known for having great hospitality, but I can safely say JLC have taken it to the next level. They've really looked after us. This is every watch lover's dream, to come on a manufacturer visit. I'm really, really lucky, and I'm so excited to show it to all of you guys at home as well. I believe we've got lunch planned at 2, and after that we're going to be experiencing the JLC watch farms.
Now, we didn't really have a clue what JLC had planned for us, nor do we know what a watchmaking farmhouse is, but all was about to become clear. We boarded the bus and took in the scenery. Our tour guide explained to us that the 15th century farmhouses, by the 17th century, had become watchmaking powerhouses.
Farming's ruined, and that's why we've now got beautiful watches. So thank you, global warming and the government.
This was due to their natural light, open facades and the rise of industrialisation, farming throughout the summer and watchmaking through the winter. And nestled in these beautiful towns and picturesque scenery, some of these watchmakers still resided.
L'assemblage, le garnissage. We
were even lucky enough to meet David Gando, an independent watchmaker who showed us through his beautiful farmhouse workshop.
Workshop is from 1853. They didn't change anything apart from bringing electricity because they had to be able to work a bit with the modern thing. But otherwise, nothing has been changed. So you can really see how the watchmaker back in the 19th century were working in front of their windows, trying to catch as much light as possible to assemble the calibers and the parts they were producing.
If there's one way to describe artisan watchmaking, this was it.
3D printing to try a bigger scale. We can efficient and his kids can work next to him here. So that's the
beautiful watches handmade in a perfect Swiss valley. And this is exactly how JLC started too. The year was 1833, and in this idyllic farmhouse, Antoine LeCoultre founded the first ever LeCoultre workshop, inventing the pinion wheel, winning countless awards. By 1888, Antoine's son had built the brand into the Grande Maison, the great house of the Valais-des-Joux. By 1903, Antoine's grandson had partnered with Edmond Jaeger, combining Swiss and Parisian watchmaking, with icons such as the Atmos clock, the Caliber 101 and the Reverso. And by 1937, the two companies came together to become one and created the brand that we all know and love today.
Right. So it's called mouton pendule. So you drop the watch from one enough sales to make it happen. But there's still.
The truth is, we didn't know what to expect in the morning. We were ushered into the 1931 cafe with anticipation building, and talk turned to what we might get up to.
I don't know, I think I'm most excited to get hands-on. I think we're going to be dealing with a lot of the construction and manufacturing process today, so actually living the life of a watchmaker briefly, I think I'm most excited to do that.
The whole theme of our tour was about precision in the JLC manufacturer, and the best way to find out about precision is to have a go yourself. Because for the first half of our morning, we were suiting up to play watchmaker, working with the tools in the JLC's watchmaker to get to grips with the details.
Okay? And then you can put the axis in the middle,
There is no need to unscrew anything or touch anything.
just like this, and read the result.
Exactly.
Now, watchmakers are used to working on a super small scale, but thankfully for us, we were working on larger, more inflated items. And as we saw, some of us are better than others.
In the stone. Is our stone in the right place?
So, should we
The task
have a massive
each
headache?
watchmaker.
I want you to stop turning the tool when you feel that it's touching the stone now.
Now it was time for us to have a go at diagnosing and fixing some gears. Screwing stones and aligning cogs, even though we were working on an inflated item, I don't think we knew how difficult this was going to be. Spending a morning like this is a great way to understand just how skilled watchmakers are. Imagine assembling something like this, or this, all in the size of something that fits on your wrist. Now that we were fully fledged watchmakers, it was now time for us to head into this lounge/office space. It was beautiful and something that looked straight out of Ralph Lauren. Now this was our opportunity to see all the pieces that JLC had launched this year, and I only had one piece in mind, the Duomet Helio Tourbillon. An 18-carat pink gold masterpiece with a triple axis tourbillon, worth more than a small house. Well, if you're northern. After seeing the complexities of a triple axis tourbillon scaled up, it brought a whole new level of understanding and appreciation for the skill and craftsmanship that went into making this watch for real. It's actually quite funny to think that all those watchmakers that went into making this watch probably started out doing what Josh and I did earlier on today, but they probably did it a lot better. We also saw the new Polaris and Duomet collection. We also saw some pieces that we can't talk about yet, but we've covered the Polaris and Duomet already on this channel, so it was time to crack on. We had some food and we also talked some watches, and now it was time to head into the manufacturer's heritage department, my personal favourite. A crazy collection of some of the most significant horological breakthroughs and icons that JLC had ever laid their fingers on.
In 1907, you can see the burst of caliber 145, which is the thinnest mechanical movement in the world. I would like to introduce you Antoine Lecoultre. So he was a genius, a perfectionist, and especially a self-taught watchmaker. This machine can measure 1 millionth of a meter, which is a micron, yeah? This caliber is known also for its link to Queen Elizabeth II, the old gem set with its bracelet to her day of coronation. She was wearing that watch. And since 2000, we work on high complications, all grand complications, yeah?
It was like the Louvre for watch lovers. But what we didn't realise is that we had some company waiting for us upstairs. Because as we passed through the restoration workshop, we were lucky enough to receive a demonstration on how JLC watchmakers traditionally blued hands and screws. As well as hand working with tools to make sure that every watch that passes through the workshop works just as well as when it left the factory.
A screw, we put it on our support, and we have different discs with different abrasive stones or materials, which we use to make sure that the screw head is perfectly flat at first, so that there's no oxidation or no rust, anything. First thing to do, of course, is to slowly test it and make sure that it's perfectly flat.
It was truly an amazing experience to witness such highly skilled craftsmanship in such an intimate setting. After being blown away, it was time to step out of the past and into the present as we visited the internal manufacturer. where they don't just make the parts for all their own watches, but even their own tools.
It will become a tool like this. As you can see, it's called swage or stamp. It will be assembled like this, and with the pressure of the machine, it will cut the component. And in the center, there will be a metal stripe that will pass, and then we will cut our component like this. Yeah. Then we change the stamp. Then we make this shape. Then we change again the stamp to have this central shape. Yeah? So that's for Atmos component.
Now all this tool making and precision engineering wasn't just reserved for plates and Atmos membranes. No, JLC in their innovative ways can even precision engineer their own gyro tourbillon cages.
Like you can see, we can machine the plates, the reversal and round plates, bridges of the tourbillons, the gongs, and the gyro tourbillon, of course. So with the help of these CNC machines, we start from, this is aluminium, yeah? We start from metal bar, then we profile turn to have this second step. Once it's done, we will put them in these 5-axis machines to have our gyro tourbillon cage. And it's the person that controls all the movement so that it comes beautifully set. Then we have Côte de Genève. You can see these parallel lines. Then there is another type of decoration. It's called martelage, hammering. So it's an electrical hammer that we come to tap on the surface to make this type of decoration.
Now all of this is mind-blowing tech, but nothing tops hand finishing in our books.
We can see on the screen what she's doing. Yeah, it's là c'est anglage.
L'anglage, oui.
Anglage, okay. So it's angling. She's cutting the edges at 45 degrees. Yeah, you can see plates of the movement. So she needs to go through these lines for angling. So she will first cut them with metal tools. Once it's done, she will need to polish them. Ça prend combien de temps une pièce comme ça?
Là, 2 heures.
2 heures?
Ouais.
So it takes about 2 hours to finish one piece. You can see the pink color. It's just a coating. So it's a protection coating because on the surface there was another already done another type of decoration like perlage. So in order not to damage it, we coat it. Yeah, we cover it with this tray, and then she can work on angling. It takes about 2 days to finish one bridge.
Hours and hours poured into achieving the finest results, where the cost of time is disregarded for perfection. And when it comes to perfection, sometimes simplicity is key, with handcrafted tools made from materials from the valley itself.
Or in a heritage gallery, yeah, so that's also used for polishing the surface of the components.
Now we all agree a watch needs to look great, but decoration is futile without the beating heart of a watch itself.
Let's go quickly through the mechanical movement. Yeah, we wind our watch, we wind our barrel with the mainspring, yeah, and then it will arrive to our balance wheel, yeah, the regulating organ, the balance wheel, the anchor, and the escapement wheel, which is responsible as well for the precision of our watch. Yeah, let's go this way. I will show you different steps.
Now, as we mentioned before, the theme of this tour is precision, and the fact that this next presentation was presented under a microscope really drives home that theme.
We will start from this. Yeah, this is the first step. We will profile turn our component, our balance wheel. We will cut out all that material to have the surge of our balance wheel. Once it's done, from the other side of the workshop, we will work on chasing of the ellipse that you can see over here. So first of all, we have our ellipse made of ruby, yeah, and the plate. So they will go in the center of the balance wheel later.
One of our favourite aspects of JLC as a brand is their attention to detail. And when it comes to quality control, they're bringing a lot to the table. Tons of marble, to be exact.
This machine tool has a ruby pulper on the top, and then it comes to check on around 100 points of our cases. And if you pay attention, the machine is set on like 1 ton of marble stone in order to avoid the micro vibrations, to have the best precision quality control.
Now, as we neared the end of our tour, unfortunately we had to jet off. Beautiful vintage watches don't sell themselves. We do. Check them out in the link below. But it's safe to say that we went into this tour with high expectations, and all of them were exceeded by a country mile. But especially the goodie bags. Special Valley tea, possibly the world's rarest honey farmed on site, JLC pocket knife, Swiss pocket knife, a gorgeous leather-bound travel charging cable, and a wholesome black and white picture to remember our trip. And although that is the nicest party bag ever, we can truly say that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that any watch lover would die for. And special thanks to JLC for making this amazing tour happen, and it has only reinforced our love for the brand. And we're hoping that some of that love has rubbed off on you guys at home as well. And for more JLC, vintage watches and general shenanigans, you guys know what to do. Hit like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
I'll rip that straight out when we get back.